2025 is promising to be a year when gamers will have two states. Either you're shocked by what you just saw, or you haven't recovered from the previous one yet. I guess, considering GTA 6 is delayed to next year, developers decided not to miss such a chance and release their games this year. Here you have the return of cult series and new IPs with ideas that will blow your mind. Today I collected the most anticipated games that I'm expecting this year, which are definitely worth paying attention to. Get ready to be surprised, amazed, and add all of this to your wishlist. Let's go! Clockwork Revolution. Do you remember this game? It was announced quite a while ago, but by itself it looks really intriguing. First off, it's being made by the guys from Exfil. Besides that, this is the studio responsible for Wasteland 3. This team has the skills to create worlds, and they're capable of delivering something really interesting in this game. And what they've shown from Clockwork Revolution, which is actually not much, looks ambitious and curious. Basically, it's a first-person shooter in the style of BioShock, with everything you'd expect from it. Strange steampunk guns, fantastic setting, and some weird special abilities, like the ability to control your other hand. Creating a BioShock-like already sounds pretty engaging, simply because it's been a very long time since we got a proper sequel. But that's not even the point. The thing that makes Clockwork Revolution truly unique is something like time travel mechanics. In this game, you travel through time, and it seems can return to key moments. And depending on the choices you make, they'll affect what the city becomes. Will it be a paradise with its dark side, or a full-blown and irreversible dystopia? The possibilities for responsive storytelling are endless. If they can pull it off, of course. The main question is how much you'll actually be able to change everything. The principle of how time travel works is still very vague. Right now, we don't know how this system actually works, or how responsive it'll be, or it might just turn out to be a linear trick. We don't know yet, but we're talking about the Exfil team. They've already mastered highly responsive RPGs, so this game could really turn out to be something unique. So yeah, nobody really knows much, but the premises are just bursting with different possibilities. And while we're probably expecting more from the game than it can deliver, I can't help but get excited just from the visual effects, the surrounding world, and everything else. Syberia Remastered. And pleasant news for the old-timers. The cult point-and-click adventure by Benoit Sokol, which has been making brains boil for decades, will soon come out remastered. During the announcement, developers limited themselves to a small, short 30-second trailer, which suggests a long wait for the game's release. But spoiler, actually no. Besides improving the visual component, developers have also announced a rethinking of puzzles with mechanisms that will become more intuitively understandable. At the same time, developers claim and reassure that changes will in no way harm the contemplative narrative part of the title, because puzzles still play an important role in revealing the secrets of Vorarlberg's genius. Also in the remaster, they promise to update the interface and improve controls with navigation in 3D space. The release of Syberia Remastered is scheduled for the fourth quarter, attention friends, of this year, so congratulations to all the old-timers. The game will come out on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series platforms. Personally, as a big fan of Benoit Sokol's games, I'm eagerly awaiting such an update. La Quimera. Today, it's quite rare to see an old-fashioned, story-based shooter, but that's exactly what we're observing right now, and that alone is enough to make me excited. But actually, there are many things in this game that look really promising. First, there's the shooting, which looks quite solid, with a bunch of futuristic-looking guns that are trendy now, and some exciting special abilities. If you're making a first-person shooter, getting the shooting right, how it feels, is extremely important. And it seems like they have the right ingredients for this. This game is being worked on by Reburn Studio, presumably a large part of which are people from the recently independent 4A Games, who in turn worked on the Metro series. Now, the main branch of 4A Games is in Malta, and they still exist, so the situation might confuse someone. But what's really important is that these guys aren't newcomers, but veterans, and it seems they have decent shooter development skills. Another interesting thing about this game is its setting. Unlike the standard dystopian setting, this game's action unfolds in futuristic Latin America, which really gives the game a unique atmosphere. We haven't seen South American cyberpunk setting yet, and this gives the game a unique flavor that's usually missing in similar games. You'll be able to play it solo or with 2 friends. So I hope this project becomes that fun roller coaster ride that the really promising looking trailer tried to convey to us. Of course, a trailer is one thing, and the actual game is completely different. But I don't know. The trailer was really good. GTA 4 Remastered. GTA 6, as we know, will only come out in May next year, but Rockstar will sweeten the wait with a GTA 4 Remaster for modern platforms. This was told by insider Test2, who specializes specifically in this studio's projects. According to his information, work on the project has been going on for at least a whole year, and the release could happen by the end of this year. Presumably, it's precisely because of plans to release an improved version that Take-Two is shutting down all fan mods related to GTA 4 remakes. According to Test2's data, the idea to release remasters of several GTA parts arose back during the pandemic. So far, as we know, 3 classic parts have been re-released: GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas, which received updated graphics and other improvements, and after them comes GTA 4. Also pleasant news, Rockstar is planning to release re-editions of Max Payne 3. According to the insider, the game will be bundled with remakes of the first 2 parts from Remedy. The release of GTA 4 Remaster by the end of 2025 looks basically logical. It would allow gamers to pass time while waiting for GTA 6, which was supposed to come out this fall, but is now expected only in May 2026. Tides of Annihilation. This extremely ambitious-looking action game looks like a cross between Nier Automata and, strangely enough, Shadow of the Colossus. The game takes place in a destroyed London, and it clearly has elements of cinematic action and semi-open world. But there are also these giant knights wandering around the city, which you'll have to climb and systematically destroy in what can be called big epic story battles. Here we have RPG elements, platforming that would fit perfectly in an Uncharted-type game, and a pretty interesting combat system that allows you to give orders to 10 different knights to destroy enemies. Does anyone remember Folklore from PlayStation 3? Well, it reminds me of that somewhat. Right after the first showing, this game looked quite polished and beautiful. All these Arthurian legends wrapped in modern visual style give this game a truly unique identity. But what really caught my eye is the gameplay. From the start, they claim the game will have no less than 30 boss fights, and judging by what I saw in the trailers, it feels like they'll be really cool. This game was shown at a PlayStation event, but it'll come out on all platforms. And while this is a project from another mostly unproven studio that in the past mainly did support work for other studios, this game, when it comes out, seems like it'll be really impressive. If it comes out at all, because it still doesn't have an official release date, but insiders hint at this year. Chrono Odyssey. Already next month, South Korean developers from Chrono Studio will conduct closed beta testing of their MMORPG. The test will take place only on PC for now. And to participate, interested gamers just need to request access on the title's Steam page and simply wait for a possible invitation. I personally already submitted a request, and you never know if I'll get lucky, so you can try too. In the trial version, gamers will get to try 3 classes: Swordsman, Ranger, and Barbarian, who will go through the initial portion of the main story campaign. I'll reveal more details a bit later. Let me remind you, the events of Chrono Odyssey unfold in the fantasy world of Set Era, where gamers as a squad of guardians enter war with divine forces. The distinctive feature of gameplay is time magic, thanks to which players can move between eras, from lush medieval kingdoms to post-apocalyptic wastelands. Besides this, time can be manipulated during battle too. For example, you can freeze a boss's attack and easily dodge it. Well, I think you get the idea. Developers promise a huge, seamless open world, and spectacular battles with diverse opponents. There will be 6 classes total at launch. To the previously mentioned, they'll add Paladin, Sorcerer, and Assassin later. The game is being developed on Unreal Engine 5 for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Phantom Blade Zero. This upcoming action game inspired by martial arts looks very energetic. Judging by the trailers, it clearly emphasizes fast and brutal action. And in dynamics, this looks really spectacular. It's nice to see that fast-paced action games are finally being revived in the form of this, and honestly, many other games from this list. Now is the perfect time to just become a crazy fan of total action games. And actually, we know little about this game, except that it's inspired by the wuxia genre and consists of intense battles. And even the developers are practically unknown. They only have a few small indie games behind them. But considering that Sony is supporting the studio, I hope they'll pull it off. And you could say they're confident about it, considering the latest gameplay trailer that lasts a whole 6 minutes and doesn't even try to hide anything. It's just pure gameplay with several boss fights. And it all looks very stylish, with music similar to Doom. Those who have already tried the preview version of the game also say it's very fun to play, that it's as crazy as in the video and can challenge you. But you'll also have a lot of choice. The game provides a huge selection of different weapons, ranged and melee attacks, and there will be many screen-filling special attacks. Oh, and another interesting fact I found online, the game's action will unfold in a huge interconnected world. And it won't be open, but all its zones are somehow connected. And honestly, everything I've seen about this game is damn exciting. The released trailers, the shown boss fights, and that puppet boss in the latest trailer is something else. The way musical cues change and suddenly different music starts playing, it just looks very cool. Something I'll definitely be playing, hopefully sometime in 2025. Barkour. In the gaming industry, there are quite a few good games about cats. Just look at Stray. However, dogs have been less lucky in this regard for some reason. That's exactly why Varsav Game Studios, known for the game Bee Simulator, announced their game about a dog. Barkour is a stealth action game where we play as spy dog 009, who works for a secret organization. And all agents are animals, united by one goal, to save the world from evil forces and gambling cats. Our dog is named Thunder, described as a trained professional, but at heart he remains an ordinary dog. He still needs to chase his tail, scratch behind his ear, and from time to time sniff someone's back, even in the heat of battle, yeah. Dangerous and undoubtedly charming at the same time, he's the perfect combination of an agent and man's best friend. Besides perfect acrobatics and lightning-fast movements, Thunder has huge combat experience, making him a formidable opponent for his enemies. It's worth noting that Thunder won't carry out dangerous missions alone, but in the company of an artificial intelligence named Alfred. Barkour should come out on PC and consoles in 2025. Which consoles the game will release on is still unknown. Hell is Us. It caught my attention because such Souls-likes very rarely try to expand beyond the established dark fantasy setting. Well, what was the last similar thing we had? The Surge? So whenever something appears that looks completely different from what we're used to, I start watching it closely, and I'm not even completely sure this is technically a Souls-like. But whatever this game is, it looks really interesting. Its action takes place in modern times, but with supernatural elements that give off Death Stranding and sci-fi vibes. It has a semi-open world for exploration, which also gives off Control vibes. Something like a mix of alien and mundane things. They also showed us very little of the combat system. There was a gameplay video, and from what I saw, it fits well into the Souls style, where your hero fights with swords, spears, and axes against these supernatural creatures. The trailer was quite intriguing. I was also really interested in how the developers emphasized exploration aspects. Usually that's not the first thing they talk about, but the thing that separates a technically good Souls-like from an outstanding one is most often world design. Exploration is a key component of such games, and some of the most memorable moments in similar games are the moments when you just wander into some place that feels like you shouldn't be there, or where you find something very cool. You definitely know that feeling. I hope this game can give us something similar, not because looking at the world design, trailers, gameplay, and all that, it seems like it can pull it off. Currently, it's known that the game is preparing for release on September 4th, 2025, and it's being developed by Rogue Factor Studio. Reanimal, it's being made by Tarsier Studio. These are the guys responsible for the Little Nightmares series, and actually, this game is something like the real Little Nightmares 3. A different studio is working on that now, but these guys got together to make this one. Basically, they're just continuing to do what they did before, but with a new name and some different execution variants. And honestly, that's already enough to excite us all, because even though all this looks quite familiar to fans of their games, everything actually looks much crazier and more intense. And like their other games, Reanimal will be based on storytelling, a well-developed plot, and most likely it'll turn out to be a pretty short horror game where you mainly sneak around trying to avoid strange, huge monsters, solving puzzles, and exploring this strange, confusing, and beautifully developed world. And again, I don't want to offend Little Nightmares 3 at all, which this time is being developed by Supermassive Game Studio, and should also come out this year. It also looks very cool. But there's something unique about the original developers, in their approaches, which you really see in Reanimal. And they're doubling down on all of this. The leash is off, and they're creating what looks like their darkest and most disturbing game to date. Just look at some of these freaks they showed in the trailer. The game somehow looks even more mysterious and grotesque than their previous projects. I'm already excited about the music, art design, graphics, how it all looks. Whenever it comes out, I'm already can't wait, because the release date only says 2025. Exfil. Independent studio Masultan, consisting of just 4 people, released the tactical shooter Exfil into Steam. Early access. They're aiming to compete with Escape from Tarkov and other representatives of the extraction shooter genre. Unlike dynamic shooters like Warzone, Exfil bets on realism and tactical depth. Realistic physics and damage system make battles short and deadly, and thoughtless actions almost guaranteed lead to the death of the entire team. In the current version, there are already 2 teams, Dragoons and Spartans. They fight for secret data on 6 detailed maps with dynamic weather and day-night cycle. Developers paid special attention to ballistics. The game implements bullet drop, speed, and flight trajectory, as well as ricochets from hard surfaces. Among the game's unusual features is a built-in voice chat system with proximity effect. You'll have the opportunity to eavesdrop on enemy conversations and negotiate with them. Early access to Exfil is already available on Steam, so if you like the game, you can try it. Why not? And this is the last game for today, but far from the last one expected to release this year, so if I didn't mention your anticipated game, write about it in the comments. This way you'll help other viewers who come here to see what else interesting there is, and help me with selecting games for future videos. And as usual, I'm not saying goodbye. See you in the next videos.